Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Crusader Kings III Tours and Tournaments. So this is the third time I recorded this episode. You might have seen my community post, but we're having issues with the grand wedding. So as I explained in that community post, the first video was messed up because we waited a year for the king to come of age, which will be here in December of next year, which by the way, apparently the king's name is pronounced Eve rather than Yves, as I've been pronouncing it, so we'll call him Eve now. But yeah, we were waiting for him to come of age, and so once he did, I started the grand wedding immediately, and then within 2 months of him coming to the throne, he faced a massive rebellion, which resulted in the wedding being canceled, which was an unfortunate outcome, but I was willing to stick with it. Things happen. And so the betrothed, our son and his fiance, got married, but unfortunately, the grand wedding didn't actually cancel. So the betrothed, or I guess the newlyweds, I should say, as well as many other characters, continued to travel to Toulouse, where we're going to have the grand wedding that had been canceled. Basically, it couldn't continue because the two characters were already married, so couldn't get married again. And so it was just a never-ending wedding, with a bunch of people here in Toulouse, and it wasn't getting events regularly. But yeah, it was clearly broken, and so I had to re-record the episode. And so then I recorded a second time, and I just started the wedding immediately, and it still ended up getting canceled because what ended up happening was when this character who was invited to our wedding, when he left, unlike the first video, his daughter was made his regent. And so on the first time I recorded, that did not happen. And so yes, she was made the regent, and then it was canceled again because she was a regent and thus couldn't go to the wedding. And so basically I'm just having issue after issue trying to do this wedding, having to jump through all these hoops, man. So I'm starting to get a little irritated because I've wasted a lot of time recording this. So we'll see if we can get it to work this time, guys. And I'm going to have to find a way to not invite him and just hope that this works out. So again, it's just like each video, there's some reason why it gets canceled. Clearly grand weddings are broken, guys. Because this is not the first time I've ran into this. I think I mentioned earlier in the series that in my test playthrough before we started this series here, I experienced a similar problem with the grand wedding. My fiance's father died during the wedding, not from anything that was happening in the wedding. He wasn't murdered or anything. He just died from old age. And then she inherited all his titles, and then it completely broke the wedding. So this is not the first time I've experienced this. It seems the grand weddings are kind of broken and not working right. So we'll see if we can get this to work, guys. We won't have as much money as I had the first time we did it, because I had a whole year to earn a bit more, but we will be able to do the silver and gold wedding venue, and then we can do a level 3 for one of these because we can't afford level 3 for both. And so we'll just go with the level 2 for entertainment. So what we need to do is basically not invite fellow vassals, is what I'm thinking, since he can't go. Because you can't just checkmark one person and say I don't want them to attend. That's not a possibility. We might not even be able to stop him from coming anyways because of the fact that he's her father. So he would be attending regardless. I guess we could do this and then also fellow vassals. Yeah, that's the only way. Because you throw the spouse's close family in, and then he'll be there. Okay, so yeah, that's unfortunate. You can't have the spouse's extended family, at least. Yeah, there's no other choices here if we want this wedding to actually happen. Now, one thing I did do is invite our head of faith. Let me just see if all the estimated arrivals are the same now as they were before. Yeah, we're waiting 153 days for our friend. And so we already have to wait a long time. Also, our mom is going to take 140 days. So because of that, I figured we'd go ahead and invite the Pope. Because he's coming all the way from Italy. And so it's going to take him a long time. But not that much longer than our friend is going to take. So I feel like it's worth waiting, 14 more days to have the Pope attend. And so we'll have him come. So let me just make sure that her father's not coming. Yeah, he's not coming. So we have no dukes coming from the realm with the exception of the Duke of Brittany. So obviously not the way we want this to go down. It's unfortunate. We went from like, I think I had 58 guests when I did it before to now just 33. So feeling a lot less grand. One thing I wanted to do though is do the diplomacy intent for the Pope. So maybe we might get alliance with them, at the very least boost the relations with them, which I think is important considering the age of this Pope. He's 27 years old. That is like incredibly young for a Pope, both historically and in the game. This reminds me of that HBO show, The Young Pope. Although he was nowhere near as young as this guy either. I think he was in his 40s. But that's an absolutely fantastic show. Or at least I really liked it. I know some people did not, but I enjoyed it. So yeah, he's really young. He's going to be the Pope for a long time. And so it makes sense to befriend him. Plus, how often does a Pope come to your capital realm here? And so we definitely want to do diplomacy with him rather than a king or emperor, I think. So yeah, we'll do that option. And we'll see what happens there. Alright, so I think we're good to go. So I was going to start this up, and hopefully it doesn't cancel. Of course, this is another bug that we're dealing with. It seems like every episode, anytime I reload the game, and a war was just declared. Oh wow, the rebellion's already starting. So hopefully this doesn't cancel the grand wedding. So far we're not getting any messages about it, but this is the same rebellion that happened in the first episode to try and put another king, I think it's Philip, on the throne. And I believe he's slated to lose this as well. Like, he doesn't have any chance of winning. He does have the 4,500 troops. Let's just take a look at what the enemy has here. Okay, so this time is actually a much smaller rebellion. He didn't wait as long. Well, that's interesting. This is against the tyranny here. Okay, so it's a different rebellion. I see. So yeah, this is not the same one. That one was about, just straight up putting King Philip on the throne. Or former King Philip. So we will not be joining this war, of course. So you are a traitor. As of right now, they have 2089. So hopefully he'll be able to win this because, obviously we're in a very good and powerful position at the moment. And so we do not want to lose our position. And our mother, unfortunately, just died. And we gained a bunch of stress because of that. She drank herself to death. But yeah, this is just a bug that happens every time I load the game up. It switches the dynasty head and then switches it back. So just another bug that we're dealing with at the moment. It looks like we were able to find out one about Count Guy. So we already have a strong hook on him from blackmailing him. So it's not really going to help us much. Can modify his contract if we haven't already. Yeah, we already did. And King has had another war just break out. Okay, so yeah, this is, again, yep, this is a larger conflict. This is a liberty war now. Now, he does have the King of Denmark helping him out. And so now they have more troops. But yeah, this is becoming a mess here, guys. Probably good we didn't invite fellow vassals. They're too busy doing wars. Maybe that's the reason why it didn't get canceled. I don't know. But yeah, we're just trying to have this damn grand wedding. There's all these rebellions across the realm. So finally the wedding is commencing. Hopefully you can get through it without it being canceled. These weddings can be kind of long. There can be a lot of events to them. They do last months, and so we'll have to see. There's a lot of things that can, apparently there's a lot of things that can happen that can mess this up. So we do have the Pope here as well. I'm enjoying the ceremony, proud of what I managed to organize. Everything has gone well so far, and as soon as I think it, I know I've jinxed it. Count Guilhem freezes in confusion, having clearly forgotten what the next step of the ceremony is. I can feel the Pope's eyes piercing me from the crowd, urging me to intervene. So we can say I can still salvage the situation. This is a diplomacy challenge. We have a 99% chance of diffusing the situation because of us having such a high diplomacy skill. We'll get some lifestyle points. We lose stress because we're arrogant, so apparently this is what our character would want to do. Yeah, going with the let's move on actually causes stress with the gregarious trait. The Pope will be impressed as well. Okay, so yeah, we'll want to do this. There is a 0% chance that you embarrass yourself, which as an arrogant character that bothers quite a bit. But yeah, it looks like we should be able to succeed here. So we'll go with this option, fits our character. And we diffused the situation and got those points. So our opinion with the Pope is now 75. Alright, so we also improved on our commanders. Well, you know, all the normal stuff's going to be happening as the wedding goes on. And we got some diplomacy lifestyle experience points because our contact network expanded. So the day has finally come, and I couldn't be prouder of my Guilhem, the beautiful groom. As the person standing by my side has unwillingly discovered, look at him. Isn't he radiant? And it's such a good match. Everything is perfect. As I finally turn around, I realize that my neighbor is none other than Pope Stephanus. I could take advantage of this moment of connection. Okay, so we can say I'm so proud, and we'll get prestige, and we'll lose stress, and our dynasty gains renown. Makes sense for our very proud character here. Instead, we can say, aren't you jealous, which would go against our goal here, or we can say important weddings make important allies, and Stephanus might be willing to consider an alliance with you too. So this is available because of our diplomacy intent. It's a 99% chance that we'll get the alliance with them, which I really wanted to do because Pope has 6,600 troops, so a great ally. And, you know, he's young, so we can have him for an ally for a long time, perhaps. So, yeah, that's clearly the thing we're going to want to do, because this is our intent. And it's only a 6% chance he will not agree, which would result in us getting stressed. So he is impressed. And so we are now allied with the Pope. It does look like somebody left our scheme to kill Walter. Okay, so let me just take a look at that scheme here. I forgot we were doing that. 7 months to complete it. Pretty low chance of success. Still trying to find secrets here. Can't invite anybody to the scheme currently. Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to get that completed or not. We'll continue to try, though. Well, that's interesting. Our wife just got pregnant. She's 45 years old. Well, that's quite unexpected. So yeah, she's pregnant. She's our soulmate. So most likely this is our child. Very interesting. Could throw the inheritance up in the air here, considering the fact that we were not expecting this, and we've already had 4 girls, and only 1 boy. So we'll have to see what happens here, guys. This could change the situation drastically. Well, I was expecting that it was already determined, considering our wife's current age. I think this might be the oldest they're going to have children, is 45 in the game. I don't recall, but I think there's like a limit, and I think it's 45. And of course, there's many historical examples of women having children quite late in life. Eleanor of Aquitaine had children in her 40s. She had a ton of children. And it's not impossible to happen. Obviously, today it happens more regularly, but of course, that's not a good example because we've got all kinds of treatments and drugs and stuff to make you more fertile. But yeah, it can happen even before all those as well. That's just rare. We'll see what happens though. So looks like we uncovered another secret here, and this one is on our vassal and knight. Okay, so I don't know if we'll be able to invite him into the scheme or not. Looks like that's a no. I don't think they'll become options though, because we've seen this before. Until we actually have the money to pay them, it only considers if you have the money or not. And unfortunately, she still does not like our cat, and we're not willing to give the cat away. I know she's pregnant right now. We are very proud of our cat. We're just not giving her away. So not as many events as there generally is with these weddings. I don't know if they turned them down since the last time I had one. Usually there's a lot more events. The ceremony has finally reached its climax. The traditional rituals have been completed, and all that's left is the final vows. The formal consent, the seal on the marriage. As both Count Guilhem and Countess... Oh, okay, she's already married to him. I was about to say, is she a countess? I thought she didn't have any territories. Ermengarde say, I do. The crowd starts cheering, and we all stand witness to the beginning of their life together. So they're now married. So it looks like we're going to get through the wedding. Now, it's not completed yet. But we have the wedding banquet starting. With all the formalities behind us, it's now time to celebrate. I signal for the servants to bring out the food and drinks and to shepherd the guests to the feast venue. Let the wedding banquet begin. So we're going to get some prestige from this. Also, we now have a legacy. So we'll go ahead and want to get the next one. Obviously, we didn't want to go down customs, so we're not going to continue going down that. Now, we did do this first one here, the traditional Toulouse weddings, so could continue down this path, yet the walking the sacred path, it's not that useful, honestly. But there are some good ones here. So this one's really good for the grand tours. Gives you these modifiers when you complete them, which is going to be our next thing we're probably going to want to do is a grand tour. Then you have the family recipes, giving you trade experience bonuses, and more likely to get the animal sightings, the legendary animal sightings. And then the final one's the best one, as usual. You know, a lot of these are pretty good here at the back end. Hash to loot or trade experience gain is up. You get free and better nights here during grand tournaments, and the house head's first grand activity is free. That's pretty useful because, you know, obviously grand activities are expensive. So yeah, that's really great as well. So when you don't commit to a path, then you don't get some of the best stuff. But I really don't feel like walking the sacred path is fitting for our character. So we're not going to go with that one, guys. I think what fits the most for our character is glory. And it does gel well with the traditional Toulouse weddings, because it's going to be a lot easier for us to get marriages in general. But I think that fits the most for our characters. That's the one we're going to go for. We'll just get a bunch of level 1 things and never get the best stuff. So it's not the most efficient way to go, but that's the way we're going to do it. I think it just fit in our character a little bit more. Looks like the king has already finished up this war because he arrested the war leader. So things are going well for him there. He's almost finished up his minority as well. So we'll have to see what happens there. Alright, so the next event is another thing. Every feast, there's always one. Every single feast. One long-winded, ill-born pissant, cornering people who just will not be silent. This time it's pawns. And he's utterly obsessed with visiting supreme wrath on some poor nameless rival for some perceived slight. Quite why I'm required for this mad plotting, I have no idea. I'm going to scream. So we can say gently exit the conversation. This is a diplomacy challenge, which we're very likely to succeed in and get a diplomacy lifestyle perk. We can just tell him to shut up. We'll get the snooty modifier here. We say that's very interesting. It's an intrigue challenge. Or grin and bear it. Well, we definitely want to do that. Let's do this with our high diplomacy. We're getting the hell out of here. And we did get a diplomacy perk. Excellent. So these ones, again, we looked at before, are not as useful. Let's go ahead and go with this one here. The Ducal Conquest. Alright, so the wedding should finish up soon. We did get another event here, Can't Get Away. As the wedding host, I know I should be spending time with the couple and their families, but I just can't tear myself away from my friend, Duke Mazza. So this is the Duke of Brittany. He's just too much fun, as we've seen before. I can see Countess Ermengarde starting to glare at me, but every time I try to excuse myself, he has me howling with laughter all over again. So we say, what a joy to have him here with me, and he becomes our best friend. I thought we already had a best friend, apparently not. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I guess we don't have a best friend, just a bunch of friends. Well-liked character, overall. Yeah, he'd become our best friend, probably fitting here. We can instead invite her to come join us, and there's a chance she'll become our friend, which we'll like doing this because we're gregarious. They would also become friends. But it's only 26% chance of that outcome. You can see the other outcomes there. We can say, let's sneak out so we can talk properly. And she'll be closer to forming a rivalry with us, and we'll get the confider trait here. Where you say, you must excuse me, my friend. And as gregarious character, we want to do that. So I think we have to do one of these two here. And I just think it makes sense with all the events we've had with him, all the interactions, all the secrets we got on this guy, that we'd become best friends with him. I know he's kind of old, so we wouldn't be best friends for a long time, and also we'd likely, I mean, I guess he has that one, he's going down that one route on his perk tree, so he's going to live for a long time, actually. And he's got so many modifiers, look at all those. So yeah, this guy's going to live for a long time. But once he does die, we would gain a lot of stress, but I think he'll probably outlive us with all those modifiers. So yeah, I think we're going to go with this option. It makes sense for us. Of course, we will insult her, but sometimes such things happen. even for a gregarious character. Now we did sway this character. I forgot we were swaying him. Trying to get him into our plot, or hoping he would join. And clearly he's not going to. I can take a look if there's anybody who will join. There's not. Probably don't need to boost him any further. So we could work on somebody else. Yeah, let's just abandon that. Is there anybody in our council we haven't boosted? I mean, everybody likes us. So we got another event here about Count Bosun's friendship. Seen this event before. And so we can become friends with the Count. He's a neighboring fellow vassal who we played games with, and one who we actually wanted to attack for his territory. And I feel like that was not a friendly interaction. Yeah, that wasn't a friendly interaction between us. As a gregarious character, you might not want to go with that. Yeah, I just don't think that... I mean, he talks smack the entire game. We might just take the stress here. Because of, we have to have a trait that would make us go against one of our other traits here, if we're going to take the stress for it. So we have to have a trait that would explain us going against the gregarious trait, which I think we do. As an arrogant character, we very proud, and we don't like this guy after the way he treated us during those games. We could just go with this one and not take the stress, and he becomes rival. I guess we could do that too, because we did play those games. We talked about him maybe becoming a rival. That'd be an option as well. Yeah, I guess we'll do that one. Why not? Let's make this guy a rival. Need more rivals in our life. So this is a very common event that we see in feast and apparently in weddings as well. We're in the feast part of the wedding. So let's go with... Your gregarious character might go with this one here. We could also go with this one for diplomacy and learning. Yeah, I guess we'll do that one. Why not? We can go with either of those options. I think they fit for us. And we got a manipulation hook on Count Bosun. How'd that happen? And our liege won his war. He's still got that other civil war that he has to deal with, which seems like there's a lot more troops in his territory for that one. So we'll have to see how that goes. Currently he's winning, just barely though. So I'm not entirely sure how we got that hook on him. Yeah, there's not much we could do with that. So here's another character we can form a friendship with. Yeah, I guess we'll go with this one because we're gregarious. So yeah, he's going to become a friend here. So we have even more friends. Food fit for a sight, taste, touch, smell, even sound. No human sense is left untouched by the scale and grandeur of the evening's food. A fabulous melee of art and fare. Near my seat, both Kaiser Ferdinand and King Jimeno share their opinions about the spread. I don't know why some people get nervous at feasts, laughs Ferdinand. What could you possibly fear around such magnificent foodstuff? My, it certainly is bustling, Jimeno complains. I barely get a chance to taste each dish. A slower pace wouldn't go amiss. So we could say, I picked the main dishes personally, Ferdinand. Might be something we'd say as an arrogant character, and we'll be closer to forming a friendship with the Kaiser. We'll get 500 diplomacy lifestyle experience points, but 7 stress because we're gregarious and arrogant. That's interesting. I think what's happening here is that as a gregarious character, you're gaining stress, but as an arrogant character, you're losing it. And so this will result in us increasing opinion with Ferdinand while decreasing it with Jimeno. Instead, we can go with this option here. Things aren't quite how I imagined them. Closer to forming a friendship with Jimeno. Only 100 lifestyle experience points. And also the same thing with the stress there. I'm guessing the same interaction here. But the opposite. Gregarious is resulting in us losing stress, while arrogant is resulting in us gaining it. Or we could say, not along with without paying attention. We'll lose stress and gain prestige. I think we'd probably say this one here. Our arrogance seems to be more important to us often than our gregariousness. We did get another perk as well. So we're just moving right through these. So we can get the forced vassalage. That's obviously only be useful if we become independent. Let's see what happens with the King's War here. Because as of right now, we're in a very strong position, you know, as the regent, so we probably wouldn't want to be independent. So every wedding banquet is host to a frankly interminable number of speeches. Some long, some short, some honest, some deceptive, rolling up and down the hall, punctuating every course of the feast in waves. As my turn nears, I am left wondering, should I consider the happy couple or focus on the festivities? We probably focus on ourselves. After all, it's easy for double meanings to get lost for most in this sea of words. So we can praise the happy couple as expected. We can praise the party. And that's because, of course, our intent is move to recreation after we achieved the last one. We could have changed that to something else, I suppose. But yeah, we can praise the party. That'll result in some stress loss due to being gregarious. We'll get some prestige. Or you can say something sweet. Okay, so we can't do anything that would, you know, praise ourselves. So I think we'll probably just go with what's expected then. As a gregarious character, you could argue this one as well. You get the, you know, it's the prestigious option. Maybe we'll go with that one because you're getting prestige. Yeah, we'll go with that one. You know, we love prestige. And then it makes us look better. Once, you know, we're the one who threw the party, so when we praise the party, we're kind of praising ourselves as well. So the wedding night starts. So I can see that all guests are satisfied and pretty tired, but the day of celebration is not over yet. I quickly organize a festive procession to lead the newlyweds to their bedchamber. Let's let the newlyweds celebrate privately. For us who remain, let's pour another drink. Alright, so we should be wrapping up here soon. Dynastic doubts. Tired after a long day's waiting and socializing, my daughter, cousin, and I ensconce ourselves at a table to mull over the union. Rosa speaks quietly. So of course, Rosa, our daughter here. And this is the Countess Bona, one of her cousins. She says, you know, I must say I still have misgivings. I worry for my kinsman. This bond opens the gates for Burgundian intrigues to destroy the Duchy of Toulouse and House Robertine Langris from within. Surely you see, kinswoman, Bona chides. The alliance with House Robertine Langris must come before his happiness. So you say, I fear you're close to the truth, daughter. And we could form a friendship with our daughter, the Baroness. Or you say, trust me, it is a good match. And that'll be taking Bona's side. We say, what of it? Leave love to the bards, we'll gain prestige. Or it is in God's hands now. So I feel like our daughter here is questioning us, because we're the one who arranged the marriage. And she's questioning the wisdom of this marriage. One that we arranged a long time ago with a lot of, planning. So I think we'd side with our cousin simply because we're not happy that our daughter is questioning the marriage we arranged. So we'll go with this one. I think that makes most sense in this particular case. So we have the conclusion. When finally the last guest leaves, I look around at the deserted venue. The food leftovers, the spilled wine on the floor, the echoes of people's laughter still lingering in the air, and feel satisfied. What an amazing day. I did a very fine job organizing it. And we succeeded in our intents. Oh well. Again, I could have changed it from recreation to something else. And the Kaiser paid 110 gold, I guess, as a wedding gift. Alright, so this is what's happened so far. We got the magnificent host because we paid the most money on the venue. So some very nice bonuses there. We gained some money as well from this. We lost some stress. Everybody was impressed. And courtly vassals were particularly impressed. Alright, excellent. So we finally completed the grand wedding. Didn't know if we'd get it done or not. With all of the issues there. And yeah, obviously this is not going to succeed, so we're going to have to postpone it. At least for now. Alright, so we learned another secret here. We're going to keep it going. Just see what other secrets we can find. But yeah, we can't invite anybody to these schemes. To the scheme here. Now we could just change our spy master to support the scheme, and that might be a high enough chance to get it done. I don't know. I feel like we really need at least one agent on there to boost it a bit more. We're still not employing a doctor. We can see if we can find another one. This would be like, what, the 4th or 5th time that we've done this decision. But we can try. So yeah, let's go and search for a physician, and let's see if we get luckier this time. Looks like the King's War is now going against him, at least slightly. I don't see any troops here of the King's. Okay, that's his troops right there. They're doing a siege currently. So maybe they'll seize control of somebody, I don't know, but they need to do this battle over here. Remember, he has the King of Denmark help him out there. So these are our options. Again, it looks like 2 really garbage choices. You're going to pay him 80 gold and he's not even good. Yeah, we just cannot get a good doctor. I've never had this much difficulty finding a doctor before. Just no doctors in the realm. Now, the king is now of age. His minority is over. And clearly the stress is already getting to him. So we're going to see what happens there. Who did he marry? Oh, okay, so that's where he got the alliance with the Danes from. With his personal marriage. Okay. Well, this would be a good option for getting rid of him. Yeah, we'll do that. And maybe he'll just die. And we also got an event here. Okay, this is the actual assassination event. And it's not a good chance of succeeding, so we're just going to go ahead and postpone it again. But yeah, maybe he'll just die. Oh no. My daughter Ines approaches me with sweat beading on her brow and pale face. Father, something is wrong. My humors have been unbalanced ever since I helped you pack that gift for Walter. So I don't know why we would allow our 9-year-old daughter to help us poison somebody. That just sounds incredibly stupid. I think this might be because we're her guardian or whatever, but yeah, this doesn't make any sense. But anyways, she's now got the same effect, the not feeling well, a severe health penalty. So we're likely going to lose our daughter because of this. So very unfortunate outcome there. And we did have another son. All right, so we need to name him. Actually fine with Robert. Why not? We'll do Robert. Okay, so now the inheritance is going to be split. So now if we take a look at the succession, we would lose these 2 titles here. These 2 duchy titles. So we'd hold this one up here and this one down here. We would basically lose quite a bit, and this would cause massive problems. So it was become even more dire for us now, at the age of 46, for us to get a kingdom title so that we can maintain everything that we built so far, or else it just all gets split. Loyalty or fear. As their duke, my vassals owe me their allegiance. My word is law. But how much is obedience without devotion worth? In times of crisis, a slow response or a half-hearted effort can lead to disaster. Can I afford such a risk? So we could say, I will win their unwavering loyalty. We'll get the generous liege, but we won't want to do that because we're arrogant. You could say, fear is a far more effective tool. This will result in us getting dread. Oh, but our son would get wounded. Oh, are we going to wound him? Why out of all of our vassals, that's the one we're going to punish? Or you could say, I have more important men to impress. Instead, try and impress the king here. Yeah, I don't think we'd pick our son out of all of our vassals to do something to. That's ridiculous. And we wouldn't do that one, so we'll do this one. But yeah, look at the king. He's got that big old scar going across his face here. Very interesting. I was expecting him to be, he's a fortune builder. And given his education, I was expecting him to be more like an administrative king. But yeah, maybe he'll become very martial-minded after having to start his reign with the war. Given his martial's pretty garbage right now, as is his prowess. But we'll see what happens with him, how he'll develop. So no more secrets are to be found here. We'll do one more search here. But yeah, we still can't invite anybody to the scheme. unfortunately. And look at this. So the king wants us to discharge our entrenched regency. Doing so does result in our dynasty getting renown. If we decline, then it'll swing to his favor by 20. If you think about it, it's already going to move through here. I don't know how long he has to wait before he can demand it again. But it'll now put us into this level where he can just do it himself. Yeah, I mean, we want to keep the power, but it's also going down. Yeah, I don't know that we'd be able to. Instead, what we might want to do, since he's demanding his own authority at this point, and we never did get it all that powerful, what we could do is accept it and then make a play for our own independence. I think we're in a very good position at this point, especially with him in this war here. So he's already distracted. I don't know if he's dealing with any other conflicts. It's just this current conflict at the moment. Our wife is involved in this, so she might lose titles in this conflict. Because, yeah, she's going to get arrested for rebelling against the king. So our spouse is already rebelling against him. So I think it makes sense for us to do it now. Just looking at the current troops, he does outnumber them significantly. And also, we got to fight Denmark if we declare war at the moment. But we might get the assistance of the Pope. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly ended up happening here in this rebellion. But I think him taking this regency we've worked so hard from, him demanding this from us after everything we've done for him, this would be the breaking point for us. We thought we were going to maintain our regency, well into his adulthood, and that's not how this is going to go down. And so I think we're still in this faction, and nobody else has joined it. Unfortunately, nobody is willing to. Let me just go through here and see if we have any. We don't have any hooks on anybody that can be forced to. Well, I suppose our best friend, we'd still be close friends even if we blackmailed him. And like, hey, you got to join this, man. I know so many secrets on you. But more than anything, it just makes sense that our best friend would join us. It's unfortunate that friendship is kind of irrelevant. The only thing that really matters is if you have a hook or not. Again, it's a real shame that you can't just contact your best friend and say, hey man, let's rebel against this guy. I wish you had more options like that. But unfortunately, we do not. We could, of course, spend a little bit of time before we give up here, abusing our power, I suppose. We can also swing the scales of power in our favor again. Try and flip them over by 10. So it's currently at 23, going down by a little bit per every month. And so if he swinged it by 20, that puts it at 3, and we swing it by 10, that puts it at 13. So it's still pretty low. So again, I think we're just gonna end up giving up the power and then doing a play for our... Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, guys. So let's go and blackmail him. Again, this is kind of crappy. We gotta do it this way, but there's really no other way to go about doing it. And then, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and accept. He can have his throne back, and he'll lose half his kingdom. So let's go and accept that. So we've lost our regency. Again, we could have abused our power there before we left. We're just gonna leave. And so now we have the hook on him. And so let's, I guess that's this one here. Let's go ahead and see if we can force him in. Seems that we cannot. He could join, but we don't have a strong hook, I see. So it's got to be a strong hook rather than just a weak one. Okay, so we're just going to do the rebellion as is with the current troop numbers. Probably should have built up our men-at-arms more before we did this. But let's just do it, guys. Let's see what happens. Worst that can happen, we get arrested and lose everything we worked towards. So yeah, let's go ahead and press our demands. Maybe he'll just grant them because he's in such a bad position at the moment. So we'll send off the ultimatum and see what happens here. And, he, of course, turned us down on this one. So not surprising. And then we get some event here about our daughter. She's been asking for a ragdoll. Is this just her trait? Yeah, this is her trait here. I see, so we don't need to read that. And so remember, we're looking for traits that help her go towards the church. I don't think any of these would affect it. Maybe content. Hey, I guess we'll do that one. Just take the stress. Alright, so now we're in this big old rebellion here. And so almost everybody is currently rebelling against the king now. And so what we're going to want to do is probably stomp on over to his territory and see if we can take Paris. We also need to pull in allies as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So we can't pull her in, of course. She's already at war. And you can't pull anybody who is in the Kingdom of France. But we can pull in the Pope, and he would accept. So that's going to be 350 prestige. So let's go ahead and do that. And his 6,000 troops will come assist us. And we can also pull in this character here. He doesn't have many troops, so it's 210. Really doesn't help us much, honestly. And that's 750 prestige. Yeah, let's not do that. I thought we had another ally, but apparently not. It's just the Pope. That's all we got. I thought we were allied over here with Provence. I think the alliance with Provence was ended when her daughter died. Is that her marriage? Yeah, that might be. No, that was the Brittany one. Okay, I don't recall what happened. Could have swore we had a marriage over there, but we no longer do. Okay, so we're now in this war. Let's go ahead and get our troops raised as far as we can. So right here. Are we the closest? Oops, my bad. So let's go ahead and raise them up. And we do not want them to be split. And he's our best commander. He's a holy warrior though, so he's not getting any other bonuses. I really feel like Count Ricard might be a better option. I don't know. He does have the lower advantage, and obviously that's important. But yeah, he's got the forter, so he can cross rivers without the penalties. Enemy defensive advantage is reduced. Fatal casualties for the enemy is also increased. He is reckless though. I don't know. I just feel like he might be the better option despite the lower advantage, just because we're going into their terrain, so they're not going to be getting as many defensive advantages. So I think we're going to go with him, just so we don't have to consider rivers and defensive terrain as much. I don't know if that's the better option, but the Pope has agreed to join our war. The king is now at war with the Pope, which obviously isn't good for him. It does look like he's winning this other rebellion here, though, so we need to get to Paris and quickly. Though it looks like we'd take a stupid amount of attrition racing all the way over there, wouldn't we? We got to take this other territory first. Okay, that's not really the way I wanted to do this. But yeah, we would end up taking a lot of casualties here. And he has a lot more troops than we do. And it's going to take a while for the Pope to get, come all the way up from his territory here to get over here. So it would probably be best to just do some sieges. Yeah, let's do a few sieges first. So as far as where we have to siege down, it's kind of hard to tell because he's got this rebellion going. So yeah, he's already fighting all throughout here. I see. So this is the territory that's causing the problem. It's this one right here. So we need to go over here. We could split the troops up and try and do multiple sieges. Until the Pope gets here, I don't really feel confident that that's what we're going to want to do. Let's just go after this one here for now. And yeah, this here clearly is not going to work here. But we got a really low chance of success. But if we do this, we're going to gain stress. So yeah, it's not a good situation here. Yeah, I should have changed her over clearly. Kept hoping that we'd get somebody else in this. Yeah, there's no point in even doing it with this success chance. You're going to fail. So we're going to have to take the stress. And then let's just go ahead and flip her over. Yeah, we're just going to flip her over to doing the support schemes. Or else we're going to gonna keep on taking stress from canceling this. Yeah, still not a good chance, but it's better than what it was. So we'll try out the 49% chance. And then as for that stress that we're dealing with, let's go ahead and pet our cat. And that'll reduce our stress by a little bit anyways. I don't know if we have any other decisions. We're going to spend some money, I suppose. And that would help. Visit the market. So I guess we'll do the siege over here. We know our wife is rebelling. Yeah, we'll just have to see what happens here. The Pope is on his way, though. And a plush and exotic carpet, so we can do this one or keep it ourselves. I guess we'll give it to him. Anything to increase the chance here might not actually make it worse, and it did. Okay. Alright, still 51% chance here. 7 months to get the siege completed. And he died on his own. Alright, excellent. So that worked out nicely for us. And yeah, got a notification he's dead already. Alright, so that worked out well for us. It's probably because we gave him that poison earlier. Reducing his health significantly. So yeah, the king's dealing with all of these sieges that are happening in his realm right now. And the Pope is on his way to come help us. If we join our forces together, we can defeat the king's army. But let's finish up the siege first. Our liege did just win his war, which resulted in our wife being imprisoned. And she's probably going to lose her titles as well because of this situation here. So yeah, not good overall. Not good. So we'll have to see what happens. Remember, she has 2 counties currently. And now that we have 2 sons, they would each inherit one of those. He could end up killing her as well. That's a possibility. We'll just have to see. So he's getting ready to attack us. I hope the Pope will support us here. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, so he's going into our territory now. Interesting. So maybe we'll be able to fight in a good defensive situation. But again, we have to get support from the Pope to have any hope of winning a battle against the king. He's attacking here, which is not a big deal, as long as he doesn't get all the way down to Toulouse. Luckily, we're pretty far away from him. And our cat has charmed one of our vassals, a child. I can see why it was charmed by our pets. So we're going to finish up this siege here. We got 33 gold from that. Captured this prisoner here. We'll see if we want to let this guy go. He's a good marshal, but he's not leading anyways, and he's not a good knight. But he can't pay for himself, so there's really no reason to let him out at the moment. We're currently at 22% towards victory. And he's trying to go after these territories here, which is not going to be enough. He's got to get Toulouse. Because you'll see we are getting the ticking war score here. Because he needs to take our capital. We don't have to go after his capital. I just wanted to do so because it make it more likely we'll get the war won. We do outnumber him with his ally and our ally. But in order to win this, we would have to combine our armies here. Now the Pope is doing 2 sieges here. One of them will be done quickly. The other one, not so quickly. 16 months. I don't have enough troops here. And these are actually our wife's territory. Out of all the territory that he's going to go attack, he attacks our wife's territory. That's great. So, you know, all this is now considered part of his again. So we'd have to conquer all this here. But, you know, it's not necessary. We can just win a few battles or get the capital, and that would be enough. In fact, I wonder if we can't go through here. Then you'd only got to take the 1 county to get to the capital without taking attrition, or just take the attrition to that 1 location. That would work as well. So that would be the better way to do this, to go through here. Oops. Yeah, you're only going to take... Yeah, being able to go through there means you're only going to take attrition in 1 particular location. Okay, so that'd be an option for us to go after the capital. But then we wouldn't get assistance from the Pope. When are his sieges going to be done? 4 months and 10 months. Okay, so there's a lot of options for us to try and get the win here. We're in a good position, though. We outnumber him, and he's got to take our capital to really, have a good chance of winning the conflict, which he's probably not going to do because he's got to go through too much territory here. So yeah, I think we're in a pretty good position. The difficult part will be trying to get the Pope and our armies combined to be able to attack him at once. But unfortunately, that is going to have to be the end of today's episode. I've spent all my recording episode messing with this grand wedding, trying to get this started and re-recording this video today, since I already recorded it once today and then once on Saturday. So it's been a real pain in the butt. But I don't know if I'll be able to get a video recorded for Victoria now, because that's what I was supposed to be recording today. And instead I'm recording this, and I was going to try and do both of them. But now I don't really have that much time left, so I don't know if I really want to start. It's getting pretty late, so I might not have a Victoria video on Tuesday. It's just so irritating that this grand wedding, so sensitive, can so easily be canceled and then cause all kinds of problems. They really need to fix that. Not entirely sure how they fix it, because there's so many different reasons why they won't be able to go, as I've seen here with that rebellion messing up, and then this messing it up with her being his regent that time. So yeah, there's a lot of problems that can result in it being canceled. So they need to figure it out, though, because it completely breaks the game. Like the grand wedding never ends, like never, unless maybe if both characters die or something. But I played, when I had the bug in my test playthrough, I played quite a few years waiting for it to resolve itself, like 3 or 4 years, and it was still an issue. So yeah, I don't know that it ever fixes itself if you get that bug. So yeah, they need to figure it out, because it's just far too likely to happen when you have the grand weddings. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you did, make sure you like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.